So, come in, take a sip, let's wind down. The computer that I usually do the grid on, it decided it needed to do an important update, and it's got about an hour left to go. So it's forced me to use the OBS app on my machine here that I have never opened before. So I'm learning how to do that, but let's go ahead and pull up this grid for the Guardian, and let's see if we can do this. I mean, it's my first time ever going live, but I felt like I owed it to the Guardian Cryptic solving community to at least try to get this up one way or another, so we might as well go live for the first time and find out, right? No big deal. So, come on in, take a sip, let's wind down. Let's hop into this grid. We've got Guardian Cryptic number 29699, set by Anto. So, let's take a look here. So, obtained T using sneaky trick. Gonna need something to go on here. Let's see, flat perhaps with no air left. And so we've got 3, 2, and 4. Flat perhaps with no air left. So perhaps our 3 and 2 is out of. And I have no idea what. So bureau run by substantial type suited to command. Characteristic strain suffered when buying a house. 8 and 3. Strain. So we'll put a tax down here. Just what? I don't know, but I'll bet you one of our crosses will let us know. Try to get back up in some order here. Obtained T using sneaky trick. So not enough with the O. Tightly grip uncle's French armchair in the middle. So I can see this being a clench because it rhymes with French and it's in the middle. We've got the uncle, the CL, perhaps that's the key. I'm still learning how to get through these Guardians, right? So, obvious hiding place for one sick individual. This T and this E in here. Probably a patient. And obtained T using sneaky trick. I have no idea. Result of following U.S. subject. So bureau run by substance C. Okay, so we got a P here on this characteristic strain suffered when buying a house. I've done that a few times. I'm going to go with property tax. Bureau run by substantial type suited to command, so probably an officer of some sort. Consider cycling to find birds. And birds at 4, so we really got 3 and an S, right? So let's go with emus. Flat. Oh, flat, perhaps, with no air left, so maybe out of tune. Attending twice with some soothing words. 5 and 5, soothing words. How about there? I mean, we'll just have to change it if we're wrong, but no big deal if we are. Belt tune out when high on this narcotic stuff. This is probably going to be my downfall. Hate one minister whipped up delivering such motivational guff. This is what happens when you let the Yank do the Guardian Cryptic. I mean, I may do okay with the New York Times, but boy, this is always just something. Complex mix seen as source of rigid compiler's code. Announces data about Europe. So we got 6, but announces, so the plurality's there, so probably a 5 and an S. Only half of can gets cozy housing. Well, belt out tune when high. Yeah, I'm not going to know. So let's just go ahead and put, I think we've got an officer here. And let me make sure. There we go. And bureau, got it. So result of following U.S. subject. Seeing this T, this R, this H tells me this is an aftermath. And mad family is an accident waiting to happen. That lines up nicely with our officer here and patient. So obtained T using sneaky trick. How about a gotcha moment? That's funny. So let's try over on this other side. Ladies, maybe into uncouth sort. It's very revealing. 3 and 3. Begin looking into building. Really attractive sign. Strengthened couple in the lead. Blubber when a few halt getting thrown out. Blubber. So we got 5 and 3. So I'm going to go with whale oil, perhaps. So ladies may be into uncouth sort. What sort of uncouth sort? We got a cad, a cur, a boor, a reprobate. It's very revealing. How about low cut? And somewhat cute ritual places we've all been in originally. Got this U here. I'm going to go with uteri. Why not? I cannot. Strengthen couple in the lead. There's something maybe to up. Is it just awful? Radar sees 2 of them. What's the comments coming in?
You have a comment. People can comment while you're talking.
Of course.
I just didn't know if you could see them.
Well, you want to read them to me so I can know?
Well, you have one. Hold on.
Let me open it up. Sorry. I mean, if people are commenting as I go, better turn that down though. I don't need the feedback. Hi again. Ha ha. Hey. Hi, Dem. How's it going? Yeah, I got it. So I'm looking here at. It's good to see you again, Dem. Strengthen couple in the lead. I mean, I guess if folks don't know, I started doing this channel in August of 2023 with just by doing the New York Times, and then it was suggested to me to do the Guardian, and it has been a learning curve ever since. I'm getting slightly better with them though, but still not getting half of the clues. It's just now it's a matter of like, does it fit there? Does it work? But it's fun. And you know what? I am doing fantastic, Dem. It's a little late, and then, my computer decided to go and do this update. I should have had it on Do Not Disturb, but so anyway. I figure I can just solve it this way and be done and not have to actually do any edits and send it up, right? But I'm going to go with strengthening couple in the lead to brace up. Because I think this might be a Libra. A very attractive sign, though I married a Leo. So, and now, bureau run by substantial type suited to command. And I guess we're talking about officer material. And yes, and you're absolutely right. The Guardian is so hard. It is absolutely, typically speaking, obtuse. If not circuitous, if not outright Sisyphean. I'm not kidding around. It's been I feel like doing them live would actually be really fun. Actually, it doesn't bother me so much. I'm one of the few people on the planet that you could tell me, you have 15 minutes to prepare. You're going to give a speech on, I don't know, just give me a subject that I've never heard of before, right? Like some new neurosurgical procedure, and I had 15 minutes to read about it. I would be happy to go on live, worldwide broadcast and talk about what I just read. I mean, it's... Radar sees two of them. So I guess we're talking about a palindrome. And that's clever because Radar is a fantastic example. Yeah, no, I don't know. Public speaking never bothered me. I don't know what this is here, though. Wound from cleaning out septic abductor. Well, I guess we could have a double definition. It could be a scar, maybe. Let's see if that helps. By the way, we're having a 2023 Silvaner. This is from a vineyard called May, or probably in German, Mai. Okay. Dismissed as soon as it started. Hate one minister whipped up delivering such motivational guff. Audacity works to build careers. All right. Granules I melted to make carrier. I'm assuming we're talking about an airline. It could be Air Canada. I don't know. Defeated and cut. Dismissed as soon as it started. So I think to take this here, granules I melted to make carrier. Granules I melted to make carrier. So this is 6, 2, 1, 2, and 4, and it keeps talking about motivational guff. What's that old saying? There's no whatever in team. There's no I in team. Let's try that. Team. Hello, Christopher. Wow, that's actually live. Yeah, John Lowe, it's actually live. My computer decided it needed to do an update. I have two Macs that I primarily work off of when I'm solving. One that catches the face and the audio, and the other one that catches the grid. That way, it's just easier. I can do everything through AirDrop or just data transfer, and the one that captures the grid decided right as I finished the New York Times that it was going to do an update, and I didn't have it on Do Not Disturb, and that was my fault. I didn't go through my pre-flight checks, so now we're just going to do it live. That's what we're going to do. This is the first time I've ever used OBS, so it's yeah. So let's see. Dismissed as soon as it started. So I'm thinking this might be maybe kicked off as soon as it started. So maybe kicked off. These are, it's almost like it's just a real big guess, But it's good to hear from you, John Lowe. I hope you're doing well. Creme Major or Creme Mayor. Yes, we're live. We're live because I had no choice. I want to get this grid out. I don't want to let anybody down. And looking forward to the grid, to the Guardian. But if I can figure it out better, I might just start doing it more often like this. It seems more fun. Little support for home force arrival. So I don't know. It's Audacity. I think we did all right with there's no I in team. I guess we can check that around here. But this right here, Mad Family, is an accident waiting to happen, 6 and 4. And I don't think my whale oil is working because I really think this might be banana Well, I don't know. I think it's banana skin, but I've never said banana skin before. I've always called it a banana peel, but I am a Yank, so. But mad, right? Mad family, mad bananas, right? Accident waiting to happen. Banana peel, and I guess it could be banana skin. If I need to find out, so I guess that would make whale fat, something else I've never used or heard of before. But clearly blubber is a fat. Whale oil is a fat. I mean, I don't know. Is this a common thing in British vernacular that we would say whale fat versus oil? Or I've always just called it blubber. And I always call a banana peel. But it seems to be working. And then this tells me we don't have Air Canada at all. But no, our carrier here is out of Ireland, I do believe. And we have Aer Lingus. Okay, I think that's right. I think it's an Irish carrier. I have no idea what this is. Audacity works to build careers. But it looks like gallops. Or galoots. So, but Audacity works to build careers, doesn't fit with galoots, so I guess I'll go with gallops. And if you see me solve or attempt to solve the Guardian Cryptic before, half of it's all a guess. The Yank curse makes guessing anything for the Cryptic so hard. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, exactly. It's an absolute curse. Believe me. But that's why I live in Germany and kind of lay low over here, right? So it's all good. Little support for home force arrival. But, you guys can use this opportunity for this to do a whole Ask Me Anything. I'm here. Little support for home force arrival. I mean, little support. Home force. What do we got here? Defeated and caught. Looks like we could have saw off. And then this, I guess the whole force arrival. I don't know that home force has anything to do with it. And if I'm not mistaken, in the UK, I trained there for a month back in 2006 when I was a young first lieutenant. And we left Fort Cavazos, Texas. At the time it was Fort Hood, and we went to Dorset, where I lived with the Dorset Yeomanry and trained with them, and it was a beautiful experience. But I think the home force is called the Territorial Guard, Territorial Army, something like that. But I'm going to go with the inflow on this. I had a wonderful time there. I had to wear little British pips on my uniform because no one knew what the little black bar meant. I had 2 pips, so it was kind of fun. I met His Royal Highness Prince Harry, who was a second lieutenant at the time, and it was kind of nice knowing. I never said anything, of course. It was just nice knowing that I kind of outranked him, just for that moment. Only half of Cairns gets cozy housing, and I'm not sure what we've got going on down here, and I'm not sure we'll be able to finish this southwest corner. So I think I'm just going to have to be doing some guessing here, but when it says cozy, and we're talking about housing, I'm assuming nests, so I guess that kind of works. Announces data about Europe. We could have states here, and that would make sense as in a double definition because announcement is a statement, data about Europe, and obviously it's a union of sovereign states, so that might work. Belt tune out when high on this narcotic stuff, and I have no idea what that is. I love your backstory, lore drops. You seem like you've had interesting jobs. I have had very interesting jobs. I went to, I didn't, you would think I would have majored in art since I was an artist, but I was pretty good at art So I wanted to get better with stuff like literature, and I loved Shakespeare and stuff like that. So for undergraduate, I studied Elizabethan poetry. Yeah, literally got a degree in Elizabethan poetry. But, and then I went to work at an ad agency where I did art, made art. That's what artists do when they don't want to be broke. And it was a very interesting system. So, but then 9/11, I joined the Army because I thought it was the right thing to do. And I don't know. I'm not like a rah-rah, super patriotic, jingoistic type. Just thought it was just kind of a fun thing to do. And then wound up becoming a hospital administrator after a couple of graduate degrees and another fellowship or two. It was just interesting, right? So yeah, no, I have a really good time. I really do. I mean, I have no complaints in my life whatsoever. It's been a really wild ride. So I don't know what this is here. I don't have a clue what this narcotic stuff is. Wouldn't even know where to begin. If anybody wants to tell me what you think, that'd be great. But I think this complex mix seen as a source of rigid compiler's code. So I've got this X, and I think we're talking about, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but that was his name, Crossword God. I mean, literally in the pantheon of setters, to use the British term, constructors, to use the American term. But shows through the years. Oh, it has been wild. No, but thank you. I mean, you're so very kind, Moonstruck Paladin. Thank you. Don't really do crosswords. Recommended you randomly and stayed because I found you interesting. Well, thank you, John Lowe. I mean, that really don't make me cry here. Seriously, I appreciate that very much. No, I'm just there's just, you get one life, right? And no matter what you think happens when you die, it makes no difference, right? That's up to you. But I mean, I better enjoy it while I'm here, make whatever I can of this mess. But I think this is Jimenez, and I think I just can't remember his name, and that really kills me. Chap contributes some rising system measurements, and I have no idea. I'd be thinking source code on that. And there's my darling bride answering you from the other room. She's a little jet lagged still. She just got back from Texas, so. But yeah, Jimenez. So I don't know. I would imagine this could be maybe an Emmett or somebody. Chap contributes some rising system, but I'm not gonna. That's right, though. But to follow on what Shotzi says, absolutely. We met in hair school. I was very young when I left high school, and I needed to find a job to pay for college. I knew I was going to college no matter what. I mean, I just wanted to go to learn. So when you have people that talk about how they want to go and they want to get a business degree, and so that they can go into banking, like they know exactly what they want to do. I had no idea what I was going to do. I just knew that I wanted to go learn. And so, yeah, no, I took liberal arts to the extreme. I really did. Still do, clearly. I love these crosswords, right? But I think this is all, I'm going to be able to get. I don't know what this is. I'm assuming this might be a nut of some sort. And just for grins and giggles, I will put Emmett in here. Is it an E or an I? I have no idea. We'll put an E in there. But I don't know what this could be. But why don't we check it all and see? I don't see any glaring holes except for the ones I left. So maybe we should just reveal this word here. And this is a Betelnut. I'm giving it a German pronunciation. Ein Betelnut. But no, I don't know if it's, a betel nut? Betel nut? Never heard of one before. It's true. Okay, now Jerry brings up funny stuff. Now I'm going to have to answer that since, Erlingus. Did I not get that right? Did I not put a U in there? Did I put an A? What did I do with that? Check. Yeah, I didn't put Aer Lingus because I haven't studied the Irish carrier's tail enough when I'm sitting in the lounge at the airport. So I thought, I don't know, I think Jerry and I got married when we were barely able to vote, but just knew that we were an item and we were going to stick together. And about 34 years later, here we are. But it's funny because we were sitting there. I'd gotten through hair school, was licensed, and I was working somewhere as a hair designer. And it's funny. I liked cutting hair. I didn't like blow drying it or coloring it or styling it or perming it. And when I was doing hair, it was back in the 90s when people were into these spiral perms, and they'd come in and they had this hair that went down to their knees, and that's exaggeration for effect. But my point is that it was just really long hair. And they all wanted a spiral perm. We had these huge rubber rods, and you had to take these small sections. You had to roll this sucker. It just took hours and hours and hours. I just hated it. So I hated it. And it's kind of hard to be, the guy that cuts hair, because they kind of want you to style it when you're finished, And I just hated it. So besides, the reason I wanted to do hair in the first place is I thought I would be around women all the time and never break a sweat. I'd have a constant source of dating. But it didn't matter because I was married. So what was the point? So we're sitting around the apartment one night and we're watching MASH. And if anybody's ever even heard of this show, but it was a great show, and it was in reruns when I was born. It's just an old show. But it was about these doctors in the Army, United States Army, fighting in Korea, or patching up wounded guys. And this thing went on. The Korean War was like 2 years. And this show went on for like 10 plus years. They were really dragging it out. But the point being is that I said to her, I'm going to be a doctor. And she's like, yeah, that'd be good. And she probably still thinks it would have been great if I had done that. But nevertheless, I decided I was going to go. I became a phlebotomist and an EMT, a surgical tech, radio tech, did everything. Basically I was a orthopedic clinician for a foot and ankle reconstructive surgeon in Dallas for about 3.5 years. Actually made pretty good money. And this is before there were really PAs, physician assistants. There were, but it was limited to an Army officer. Like if you were an Army warrant officer, you could have gone to PA school back in those days, but there really wasn't programs like that. So I functioned as a PA. And then I graduated, and I went to work in an ad agency. I was stuck in advertising for the longest time until it was time for me to join the Army, and that was 9/11. And so, but while I was in the Army, I became a commissioner, for the city of Fort Worth. It's just it's been an interesting life, but I've always been very active in local current events. Tried to keep up with what's going on politically, civically, and so on and so forth, and then try to contribute, as best as I could. But no, I don't have any complaints at all about my life. I really do not. It's been an interesting ride, but I'll be honest with you, the outside of Shotzi, the real joy I have here, I just really do love doing these grids, which is why I'm doing crash courses in how to use OBS streaming software at the last minute to make sure we get the Guardian up for the day. It's only 5 days a week that the Cryptic is available, and I just don't want anybody to log in and not see it available for them. But Moonstruck Pelican, I think you've got Jerry and I both moonstruck here. Really appreciate your support and comments. And John Lowe, Alexa Buck, that's hair design school. You would think it'd be so much fun, but it just smells like perm solution all the time. And it's a lot of work for 16, 17, 18-year-old kids to be doing. No one wants to do that kind of work at that age. None of us did. We all wanted to go outside and smoke cigarettes and, do whatever and sneak off to a movie or something. We were just kids, but, it was cool. We had a good time. But on the whole, it just probably wasn't the best career for me. But it was kind of a fun ride there. I met a lot of really cool people, so I can't really complain at all whatsoever. This is, this grid was, This was a little bit easier for me. I don't know if it's a typically easy one for everybody, or if it's just me, because this was kind of suited to me. You know how there's certain subjects or certain words that you just love. There's certain things that you're into that you can kind of get it. Like, this whole officer material piece here. I mean, when I went to the recruiter after 9/11 and I gave them my education and my background and whatnot, I was told I was officer material. That was fun. So it's kind of nice to revisit that. But yeah, by and large, on the whole, this was a really great grid, and I really enjoyed it. And anytime I get to sit around with my friends here and have a glass of wine. So I'll be looking. I think I can tell from the screen, and I hope that it's a decent copy. I don't know that I set it up for ultra high def, even though I've got the bandwidth here, and I've got the processor speed on all four of these computers. So I mean, there's no reason not to do that more often if it looks good. The reason I put I put it up through, and I do the edits and whatnot beforehand, is just so that I can make sure the audio is clear and everything sounds good. I don't want to put people through a situation where they don't get to feel and hear and enjoy an environment that's suitable to that. So, Dem, I got to tell you, it was just the coolest thing hearing from you. And, I mean, like the suggestion went, right? You should do a podcast. And I have been thinking about doing a book for a long time, but I'm going to have to find a guest solver for a couple of weeks. And then Shotzi and I can go on a cruise, or just go book an Airbnb somewhere, and I just sit down with the iPad or a laptop and churn something out. But I think a follow-on podcast, which has been requested quite a bit, would be a good idea there. So I'm really thinking that might be an option there. But the whole idea is not to say, hey, look at me. It's to say, hey, this could be you, or this could be you, so don't do it. Try to avoid it at all costs. However you want to take it, right? But just giving that out there. But it was so great to hear from everybody. My gosh. And John Lowe, thank you so much. Creme Major or Creme Mayor, just fantastic. And Alexa Buck, thanks for reminding him about the Yank curse. That's about right. Doing it if you did more. Usually always on here at this time. Well, you know what? I'll probably have to start doing the Guardian live then. I'll just need to make adjustments in the operating system here to make sure that the sound and everything's good. I mean, I can't even hear it. So I'll make sure that we recorded it. So we'll take a listen at it later, and then we'll make adjustments. But if we're going to do the Guardian live, that's one little less bit of editing I need to do, right? And it'll still go on up. So does anyone else have any questions before I take my evening shower and watch a movie and drink more wine? Because otherwise, I mean, this is exactly what I love about doing these things. I will say one of the few things, let's see, this is super fun live hangout for. Well, thank you. We'll probably start doing them more often. It certainly makes life easier for me. And let me go ahead and shut this out of here. I don't believe we need that anymore. So this is my fiance and I watch your New York Times Crosswords in the evenings a lot over dinner. A little tough to play along with for someone from the States. They don't mess around. Well, no kidding. And I'm someone from the States. And I am very, very familiar with what you're saying. I usually watch you over dinner. That's so funny. Yeah, it's a funny thing. Actually, I just realized I can look over here with OBS and see the comments right there, not having used my phone. So good. But again, one of the things that I found out about this community when we started doing this, I've only had one person ever, I don't know, what do you want to call it, troll, right? And it wasn't even a troll. It was just someone who didn't like the fact that I spent 2 or 3 minutes talking about wine before I did the puzzle. which I thought was kind of sad because I thought to myself, well, it's called Wind Down and Do the Crossword, and I am kind of a bit of an aficionado, so I'm like, well, we should talk about wine and then get right to the crossword, right? And it's such a niche community. You can't get any more niche than this. And we were sitting at 600 subscribers, and I thought, that's probably the max, right? That's probably what we're going to have here. We're going to have 600 subscribers max because of all the people in the world that like to do crosswords and also enjoy wine. I don't know, probably very limited. But we've been watching the channel grow. And it's a real testament, right, to what there are people out there, whether you're into it or not, it's still something and it's different. And we don't let it get political, and we try to keep it positive. But there's really no trying to it. I mean, I'm just a generally positive individual, I know, it reminds me of an old Irish, those old Irish ballads and stuff where they're always talking about, it's always a happy melody, but it's just the most terrible, lyrics on the planet, Well, she left me alone. She left me for him. And you're just kind of singing along about your wife running off with your best friend. I mean, so yeah, I always try to find positive in something, in everything. But it could be because I went to war 5 times and somehow lived through it, and now there's nothing that I can really complain about, right? So maybe that's it. But Moonstruck Pelican, I wish you and your fiance the very best of luck. And we've always got the New York Times there, right? But if any of you feels like becoming a guest solver, just let me know. I'm looking to get a slate of folks together because one of the interesting things about my I saw your subs blow up from the hundreds to thousands very quick. It just did. Isn't it amazing, John? I was like, what? So yeah. But, I still sit down and I write everybody back myself. I mean, like, that's never going to change. And I just enjoy the interaction. And so it's first of all, it's wonderful to connect across the globe. And I love languages. And just seeing this huge spike in folks who are, or who are tuning in from Vietnam. And it's kind of funny because I've been learning Vietnamese recently. I'm trying to add that to my repertoire of languages, and it's a very difficult language, but it's a very fun and harmonic. It's a beautiful language. It's very bouncy and it's fun, and so I'm loving that. So now I feel even more motivated to get the Vietnamese up and running, stuff like that. And so I just think that it's like saying goodbye, for example. Hẹn gặp lại. I mean, what a fun way to say this, right? So I think that's the coolest thing. I really just love seeing people kind of coming in and being part of that. And when you love the diversity and you love the culture and the language and the food from around the world and the various wines that you can get, it's just a wonderful thing. So oh my God, I've been learning Vietnamese too. Xin chào, doing day like Christopher. It is a fun language, yes. Anh có ở con? But it's like I just love languages, right? So to me, it's never really that hard. And Shotzi likes to refer to me as her own personal James Bond. If we're out, no matter where we're driving somewhere in Europe, we usually drive. Unless we're going to Spain, we're going to fly to Spain. We're not driving, 3 days. But it seems like I can always get out of the car and talk to somebody about parking it or ordering our food. And she thinks it's pretty funny. But it's called just being a total word nerd, right? So there's no James Bond coolness to it at all. So it is what it is. But what a pleasure chatting with every one of you. And I will, you know what? I'll just make it a plan. I'll just do the Guardian. If you guys can hop on and chat with me, great. And you're tuning in from Turkey. Oh, fantastic! Great. Merhaba. You got to give me a minute to remember what I. Yeah, I have been doing my best to get in tune with my Turkish, and there's so many here, so many people from Turkey here in Germany that. But when I'm chatting with them, I'm trying to get better with my Turkish. I get a lot of. Well, I need to work on my German, all right? I'd rather learn some English or something. And so it's always like, don't really get a chance to use it that much, other than maybe a simple thing, something. But no, Turkey's one of our favorite places. Shotzi and I are planning on going to the Turkish Riviera perhaps this summer. And I have spent an inordinate amount of time in Adana, in Istanbul, of course, Ankara, Izmir, and the food, the people, beyond lovely, just beyond lovely. Absolutely love Turkey, and it would be so nice to get to take Shotzi there. We were in Adana. I was in Adana most of that. I would go visit Incirlik and visit the like the town of that's the it's where Incirlik is, and I think Adana is like the orange capital of the world or something, right? It was such a beautiful place, and I used to love just going and staying in Adana after I'd visit and inspect those hospitals there and do that part and just go chill out and hang out and whatnot. I love the calls from the Minotaurs from the mosques and stuff. It's just quite. Izmir, beautiful, beautiful, lovely place. And of course, I've been there when it was a little hairy because of Syria. Then I've been there when it was really kind of chill too. So I mean, it is what it is. But just a beautiful, beautiful country and one of my absolute favorites. I've always told Jerry if I could just, we could live in Adana. We could just move there. Maybe just get a permanent suite at the Sheraton or something, right? I don't know. We just have to just go stay there. It's just a gorgeous place. So, but again, I have had the best time, and so I will review this tonight when we're laying in bed. I will watch this and see what it sounds like. If we're good to go, if I need to make any adjustments, I will. But honestly, it seems like it's a pretty good time. So let's go ahead and plan on me just hopping on live. If I catch you on here, if you got a moment, chat me up. We'll get the grid done and whatever. But it's a lot of fun for me, and I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you all for your time today. I'm touched, literally, and a little choked up. So I didn't expect to see or hear from anybody, but wonderful. So until we see you next time, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss, Servus, Grüß Gott, ciao, and Cin-Cin. Everybody be well and try to be nice to strangers if you can at all stomach it. Cheers.